Today we're celebrating World Green Building Week. This is the first event of around 20 that are going on simultaneously around the world over the course of this week to really draw to attention the global campaign for a sustainable built environment that we're all involved in. And in particular drawing attention to the potential of buildings to mitigate climate change as well as meet local social and economic priorities for people in countries right around the world. We all live and work and enjoy ourselves in buildings, and we exist to highlight the role of buildings and what we can do to deliver fantastic opportunities for human development and to tackle huge challenges such as climate change through the way that we use our buildings more effectively. We had a great presentation from Boris Johnson, the Mayor of London, this morning. He managed to make us all laugh early on a Monday morning, which of course is always welcome. But then, I should say, he went on to give actually a very profound view of a low-carbon future for the City of London.
How many homes are we hoping to refit by 2012 under the refit programme? 200,000. Yes, Martin? Martin nodding over there. How many by 2015? 1.2 million. How many homes are there in London altogether? 3.6 million. That's a huge proportion. That's a massively ambitious programme. I believe the key point to make to government on all this is that there are savings. There are savings to be made in retrofitting. I would like to see much more work done between central government and us and the London boroughs to create a single outfit that comes to your home with people who bound up your front path or come, knock on your door and say, can we help? Can we help you to save money?
By any comparison with any other sector, buildings really surely should be at the forefront of our thoughts about how to drive better homes, better lifestyles, and a lower carbon economy.
It's not rocket science to identify the things we need to do to respond to climate change. We need to build effectively a zero emission economy over the next generation or two, and that means taking emissions out of actually a very small and easy to identify group of activities, out of electricity, out of transport, out of the various industrial processes at the moment that are emissions intensive, out of domestic heating, but then on the demand side, out of buildings. Politically, buildings are probably at the cutting edge of doing all of those things because the opportunities are so tangible and so much in our faces. It's the door that we need to go through to unlock some of the other more difficult things that we need to do. Buildings are the most tangible reflection we have around us of who we are. They're an expression of our identity, of our deepest personal choices. And in the end, we will only respond successfully to the challenge of climate change if we do so at the level of who we are, as well as at the level of what we need to do. And so I think part of the challenge of shaping, if you like, the landscape of the imagination will lie in the choices we make about buildings. And yes, those choices are available economically as well if we apply real imagination to them.
Policies need to focus on whole building, deep retrofits, rather than cherry picking or harvesting the low-hanging fruit, as has been said earlier. However, the good part of the news is that if we do embark on this more ambitious policy path, to fixing our buildings and go for deep renovations instead of cherry picking, not only do we contribute to addressing climate change to a large extent, but also we will partially solve many other problems, some of which have been already mentioned today. I think we are at the very beginning of this, since we haven't even realized that working on our buildings in a piecemeal way will not deliver the climate change mitigation targets that we are aiming at. Once we realize, then we have to put together our efforts to have a really concerted effort from all the stakeholders around the table and tackle this issue. No, we haven't.
The policymakers in the European community, in the UK specifically, they're very important to us to make sure that they keep at least a level playing field and keep raising the bar on that playing field so that we don't feel like we're going it alone. We can't do it alone.
It was fascinating to hear Boris's speech this morning, where he talked about many of those same issues for Londoners. Again, the drive to cut the energy bills of millions of people, to deliver low carbon and affordable homes right across the city is as big a priority here as it is, for example, in the townships of South Africa or the ghettos of the cities of Mexico. So huge similarities, which, as I say, is a real focus for the World Green Building Council over the course of World Green Building Week.